What if everything you're chasing, money, approval, success, is actually keeping you trapped? The more you cling, the more it controls you, and the scariest part, you might not even realize it's happening. We've all been there, stuck in loops of stress, chasing things we think will make us happy, only to feel emptier afterward. But what if the secret isn't grabbing harder, but letting go? Not giving up, but seeing through the illusions that keep us stuck. Today, we're breaking down timeless wisdom on how to live freely, not by changing the world, but by changing how we see it. The illusion of control. You wake up early, make lists, plan every hour, because if you just organize enough, work hard enough, control enough, life will finally fall into place. But here's what no one tells you. The more you try to grip the world in your hands, the more it fights back. You think you're steering the ship, but really, you're just white-knuckling the wheel in a storm, terrified to let go for even a second. Let's pause. Think about the last time something didn't go your way. Maybe you missed a deadline, or someone let you down. How did your body react? Jaw clenched, stomach tight, heartbeat loud in your ears. That's not just stress. It's your mind at war with reality. You're arguing with what is, screaming at the universe for not bending to your will. And the universe, it doesn't argue back, it just is. Now imagine standing in a river, arms full of rocks. Each rock is something you're trying to control. Your reputation, your future, other people's opinions. The current pulls at you, but you refuse to drop a single stone. If I hold on longer, you think, I'll win. But the river doesn't care. It keeps flowing, and the longer you fight, the heavier you sink. This is the irony. The things we think we're controlling end up controlling us. Ever checked your phone obsessively for a message? That's not you controlling the situation. That's the lack of a reply controlling your attention, your mood, your entire moment. Ever replayed a conversation in your head, scripting better comebacks? That's not you fixing the past. That's the past rewriting your present. So where's the way out? It starts with a question. What if control isn't the solution, but the problem? Picture a leaf floating down that same river. No resistance, no struggle. It doesn't try to reach the shore. It just moves with the water. And yet, it always arrives where it needs to be. This isn't passivity, it's trust. Trust that you don't have to micromanage every detail to be safe. Trust that some forces, time, nature, other people's choices, are beyond your grasp. And that's not a failure, it's physics. Try this today, for 1 hour. Notice where you're forcing things. Are you pushing a friend to act how you want? Obsessing over a mistake no one else remembers? That's your signal. Your mind clinging to illusions. Now take a breath, loosen your grip, repeat. I don't have to hold. The truth is simple but uncomfortable. You were never in control to begin with, and that's the most freeing realization you'll ever have. Why attachment creates suffering. You know that feeling when you're scrolling through old photos, and suddenly there it is, a memory that stings, a person, a place, a version of yourself you think you've lost. Your chest tightens, you linger. Why? Because somewhere deep down, you believe that if you just hold on hard enough, you can keep it alive. But here's the truth no one wants to hear. Attachment isn't love, it's fear dressed up as devotion. Let's break it down. Think of something you're attached to right now. Maybe your job, a relationship, even an idea of how your life should look. Now ask, what am I really afraid of losing? The paycheck, the companionship? No, what you're really afraid of losing is the story you've built around it, the identity, the me who has this thing. That's why attachment hurts. It's not about the object itself, it's about the hole you fear will be left in you if it's gone. Here's how it works in real time. You meet some, they make you feel seen. Slowly you start needing them to keep making you feel that way. Their texts become your mood boosters. Their approval becomes your mirror. Without realizing it, you've handed them the keys to your peace of mind. Now every time they're distant, busy, or just human, it feels like a threat. That's not love. That's addiction. Same with money. You tell yourself, if I just save enough, I'll be secure. But security never comes. The goalpost moves. $10,000 becomes $100,000, becomes just a little more. The more you have, the more you fear losing it. The irony, you're not even using the money, you're just worrying about it. That's attachment. A cycle of craving and fear, disguised as prudence. Now, imagine holding sand in your fist. Squeeze tight. What happens? It slips through your fingers. Open your hand, it stays. This isn't a metaphor, it's a law. The things we cling to must escape. Because clinging distorts them. Ever noticed how the hobbies you had to be good at stopped being fun? How the people you needed to stay started feeling suffocated? That's attachment turning gold into lead. So how do you break the cycle? Not by pretending not to care. That's just another mask. Start here. Next time you feel that familiar grip of I can't lose this, pause. Ask, is this mine to keep or just to experience? Am I enjoying this or just stockpiling it? If it vanished tomorrow, what part of me would still remain? The answers will show you where you've confused appreciation with ownership. Love doesn't say you must stay. It says, I'm grateful you're here. Security isn't a number. It's knowing you can adapt. Detachment isn't cold. It's the opposite. It's loving things without demanding they save you. It's touching life lightly, so it doesn't bruise when it moves. And it always moves. The weight of expectations. You wake up every morning with a voice in your head. It whispers to you before you even open your eyes. Today is the day you finally get it right. Get what right? The diet, the hustle, the perfect version of your life you keep imagining. You don't even question it anymore. This constant pressure to be more. But here's what happens when you chase that more. You miss what's already here. Think about the last time you told yourself, I'll be happy when, fill in the blank. When you lose 10 pounds, when you hit a certain number in your bank account, when someone finally sees your worth. It sounds harmless, but that little phrase is a trap, because happiness isn't waiting for you at some finish line. It's buried under all the shoulds you keep piling on yourself. Let's try something. Close your eyes and picture yourself 5 years ago. What did you think would make you happy now? Maybe it was a job, a relationship, a level of success. Now ask, did it really? Or did you just replace one expectation with another? That's the thing about chasing futures. They never actually arrive. You just keep running, thinking the next one will be the one. Society doesn't help. It sells you a script. Work hard, climb higher, never stop improving. And sure, growth is good, but when does it end? When is enough enough? You've been conditioned to believe that satisfaction is always one step away. So you grind, you hustle, you sacrifice. And for what? A moving target you'll never catch. Here's the truth. Expectations are like carrying a backpack full of rocks up a mountain. You think you need them. You're afraid to put them down, because what if you fall behind? But the weight isn't making you stronger. It's just making the climb harder. And the worst part, most of those rocks aren't even yours. They're what your parents wanted for you, what your friends are doing, what Instagram tells you is success. So how do you drop the weight? First, notice when you're shooting yourself. I should be further along by now. I should have my life together. Every time you hear that word should, Ask, says who? Is this your voice or someone else? Second, practice being where you are, not where you think you should be, not where others are, right here, this breath, this moment, because the present isn't just a stepping stone to some better future. It's the only place life is actually happening. And third, redefine success, not as a destination, but as a way of moving through the world. Are you kinder today than yesterday? More patient, more present? That's real growth. The rest is just noise. The irony, the moment you stop chasing happiness, you start finding it, not in some distant future, but in the ordinary moments you've been rushing past. The warmth of sunlight, the taste of your morning coffee, the laugh of someone you love. These aren't small things, they're the only things. So put down the backpack. The mountain isn't going anywhere, and neither is your life, unless you miss it while you're busy climbing. Letting go versus giving up. There's a quiet strength in surrender, but most people never find it, because they confuse letting go with giving up. They think if they stop fighting, they've lost. If they release their grip, they're weak. But real power isn't in holding on, it's in knowing what to release. Think about a time you were stuck in traffic, fuming, gripping the wheel, mentally cursing every red light. Did your anger move the cars? No, all it did was turn their delay into your suffering. Now imagine if, instead of resisting, you just accepted it, not because you wanted to be stuck, but because fighting reality only burns energy you can't get back. That's not giving up, that's wisdom. The same applies to bigger things. That job you are miserable in, but afraid to leave. The relationship that drains you but feels too familiar to walk away from. Society tells you quitting is failure, so you stay, resentful but strong. But is it strength, or just fear in disguise? Here's the difference. Giving up says, I can't handle this, so I'm running away. Letting go says, I deserve better, so I'm making space for it. One comes from weakness, the other from clarity. Detachment isn't about not caring, it's about caring without being consumed. You can work hard without tying your worth to the outcome. You can love deeply without needing someone to complete you. That's the balance. Pouring your heart into things, but keeping your hands open. Try this. Hold a coin in your palm. Close your fist around it. Now, your hand can't do anything else. Can't write, can't eat, can't create. All its energy is locked around that one small thing. That's attachment. Now, open your hand. The coin is still there. You haven't lost it, but now your hand is free. That's letting go. Most suffering comes from confusing the two. You think if you stop obsessing over a goal, you'll never reach it. If you stop controlling a person, they'll leave. But the opposite is true. Obsession clouds judgment. Control pushes people away. The tighter you cling, the more you repel the very things you want. So how do you practice this? Start small. Next time you're stuck in a long line, don't check your phone, don't huff. Just stand there. Notice the urge to resist, and then choose not to. That's training. Then apply it bigger. That project you're overthinking, do your best, then step back. The friend who hasn't texted back, send love, then focus on your own life. The future you're trying to force, plan but then trust. This isn't passive, it's the most active thing you can do to engage fully with life, while refusing to be ruled by it, to care deeply, but from a place of wholeness, not lack. The secret, what's meant for you won't pass you by, not because the universe is keeping score, but because when you're not grasping, you see clearly, and when you see clearly, you move with life, not against it. So don't confuse surrender with defeat. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is loosen your grip. The art of non-resistance. You know that feeling when life doesn't go your way, when the train is late, when the coffee spills, when someone says the wrong thing at the wrong time. Your first instinct is to push back, to tense up, to argue, to resist. But here's what no one tells you. Resistance doesn't change reality, it only tightens the knot. Think about the last time you fought against something you couldn't control. Maybe it was bad weather ruining your plans, or a mistake at work that wasn't your fault. How much energy did you waste trying to change what had already happened? How much peace did you lose in the process? The truth is, suffering doesn't come from the event itself. It comes from your refusal to accept it. Imagine standing in the ocean. A wave comes toward you. If you brace against it, tense your body, try to stop it, the wave will knock you over. But if you relax, if you move with it, you'll stay on your feet. The wave hasn't changed, your reaction has. That's non-resistance, not giving up, but flowing with what is. This isn't about being passive, it's about recognizing where your power actually lies. You can't control the weather, traffic, or other people's actions, but you can control your response. And when you stop wasting energy fighting what you can't change, you free yourself to focus on what you can. Try this today. The next time something goes wrong, pause. Notice the urge to resist, to complain, to tighten up. Then take a deep breath and ask, can I change this? If the answer is yes, act. If the answer is no, release. It's that simple. The wall doesn't move when you push against it, but you can choose to stop pushing. How to practice detachment daily. Detachment isn't about not caring, it's about caring without clinging. It's the difference between holding someone's hand and chaining them to yours. Most of our pain comes from mistaking attachment for love or obsession for commitment. We think if we don't worry about something, we must not care. If we're not controlling it, we must be neglecting it. But that's not how freedom works. Think about a time you were stuck in traffic. Did stressing about it make the cars move faster, or did it just turn someone else's delay into your suffering? That's attachment in action, taking something outside your control and making it your problem. Now think about something bigger. A relationship, a job, a goal. How much of your energy goes into worrying about outcomes, into trying to force things to go a certain way? And how often does that actually help? Detachment begins with a simple question. Is this mine to carry? Not everything is. That rude comment from a stranger, not yours. The opinion of someone who doesn't know you, not yours. The future you can't predict, not yours. Here's how to practice. Pause before reacting. When something upsets you, take one breath. Ask, will this matter in a week, a year? Most things won't. Release what isn't yours. Grudges, others' expectations, old mistakes. Put them down. You don't need them. Enjoy without clutching. Savor your coffee without needing the moment to last. Laugh without needing the joke to be repeated. Detachment isn't cold, it's clear-eyed. It's knowing what's yours to hold and what's yours to release. The things that are meant for you don't need to be chased, and the things that aren't, no amount of grasping will keep them, so hold on lightly. That's how you keep your hands free for what really matters. The freedom of enough. There's a voice inside you that always whispers more money, more success, more validation. It tells you that happiness lives just beyond what you currently have. That if you could just reach the next milestone, then you'll finally relax. But here's the secret that voice doesn't want you to know. It will never stop asking for more. This isn't philosophy, it's basic human wiring. Our brains are designed to seek, to want, to chase. In ancient times, this kept us alive. Today, it keeps us running on a treadmill that has no off switch. You get the promotion, but now you need a higher title. You buy the car, but now you eye the newer model. The goalposts keep moving, and you keep exhausting yourself to reach them. But what if you stepped off the treadmill, not to give up, but to finally look around at where you already are? Try this right now. Pause. Think of 3 things you have in this moment that you once desperately wanted. Maybe it was a relationship, a job, even something as simple as a quiet morning with coffee. Remember how badly you wanted them. Now notice you have them, and yet, are you enjoying them, or have they become invisible under the weight of new desires? This is the paradox of chasing. The things we think will fulfill us only do so temporarily. Then the mind, restless as always, finds something new to fixate on. The cycle never ends unless you end it. Gratitude isn't just saying thank you, it's seeing what's already here, not as a cliche, but as a radical act of rebellion against the endless hunger for more. When you stop long enough to truly feel the warmth of sunlight, the comfort of a bed, the presence of someone you love, that's when you realize you were never lacking. You were just too busy chasing to notice. So today, practice enough, not as settling, but as liberation. Name what's already yours, not just possessions, but moments, relationships, small joys. When the more voice speaks, ask, will this truly bring peace, or just another temporary high? Sit still for 5 minutes and do nothing but breathe. No goals, no productivity, just be. The freedom of enough isn't about having little, it's about needing little. And when you don't need more to be happy, you're already free. When loss becomes liberation, you know that feeling when something is taken from you. When a relationship ends, a job disappears, a plan falls apart. In that moment, it feels like the world is ending. But here's what time will show you. Some of the best things that ever happened to you felt like losses at the time. Think back, that breakup that shattered you, did it eventually lead you to someone better? That job you didn't get, did it free you for an opportunity you couldn't have imagined? Even the small losses, the missed flight, the cancelled plan, how often did they turn out to be blessings in disguise? This isn't just optimism. It's pattern recognition. Life has a way of removing what no longer serves you, even when you're too attached to see it. The universe doesn't explain itself in the moment. It simply acts and leaves you to piece together the meaning later. The problem isn't loss itself, it's your resistance to it. The belief that what's gone should have stayed. That if you just fought harder, clung tighter, things would have worked out. But here's the truth. What's meant for you doesn't require force. And what isn't, no amount of holding on will change that. So how do you move from pain to peace? Stop asking why me. Start asking what is this clearing space for? Look for the gift in the release. That relationship that ended, it taught you what you truly value. That failure, it showed you where you were misaligned. Trust the process. You don't have to see the whole path to take the next step. Loss only feels like an enemy when you mistake it for permanence. But nothing in life is permanent. Not the good, not the bad. The job you think defines you, the identity you cling to, the future you've mapped out, all of it is temporary. And that's not a threat, it's freedom. Because when you realize that every ending is also a beginning, you stop fearing the fall, you start trusting the ground. Even when you can't see it yet, the door you thought closed wasn't blocking your way, it was redirecting you. And one day, you'll look back and say, thank God, that didn't work out. The quiet mind, you know that feeling when you're trying to sleep, but your mind won't shut up. It's replaying conversations from yesterday, worrying about tomorrow, analyzing every little thing until your head feels like a crowded room with everyone shouting at once. The harder you try to quiet it, the louder it gets. This isn't just frustration, it's a sign of something deeper, a mind that's forgotten how to rest. We live in a world that prizes constant thinking, endless analyzing, as if the solution to every problem is to just think harder. But here's the truth, they don't teach you clarity doesn't come from more thoughts, it comes from less. Imagine a pond. When the water is still, you can see all the way to the bottom. Every stone, every leaf, perfectly clear. But the moment you stir it, the mud rises, and suddenly you can't see anything. Your mind works the same way. The more you agitate it, with worry, with planning, with endless mental chatter, the murkier it becomes. The answers were always there, you just couldn't see them through the storm of your own thinking. This is why the most profound realizations often come when you're not trying to have them. In the shower, on a walk, in the space between waking and sleep. It's not because those moments are magical, it's because for once you've stopped stirring the water. So how do you cultivate a quiet mind? Not by forcing silence, but by allowing it. First, notice how often you're lost in thought without realizing it. You're eating breakfast, but mentally you're already at work. You're with a friend, but half your attention is on your phone. This is the opposite of quiet. This is noise masquerading as living. Try this instead. For just 5 minutes today, do one thing with your full attention. Drink your coffee, and only drink your coffee. Feel the warmth of the cup, the taste on your tongue, the way the steam rises. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring it back. This isn't meditation, it's waking up to the life you've been missing while lost in thought. Second, stop treating your thoughts like they're always important. Most of them aren't. That anxious loop about tomorrow's meeting, the replay of an awkward conversation from 3 years ago, they're just mental static. The brain's way of filling space. You don't have to engage with every thought that passes through. You can watch them come and watch them go, like clouds moving across the sky. That makes space for nothing. Literally. Sit for 5 minutes and do nothing. No phone, no music, no distractions, just you breathing. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. Your mind will scream that you're wasting time. That's how addicted we've become to noise. But in that nothingness, something surprising happens. The mind begins to settle on its own. Not because you forced it, but because you stopped preventing it. The irony is this: we chase answers as if they're hiding from us. But they're not. We're just too busy looking in the wrong place, outside. In more thinking, more analyzing, when what we need is already inside, waiting for us to be still enough to hear it. So today, try doing less, thinking less, stirring less. The mud will settle, the water will clear, and what you've been searching for, it was there all along. Living beyond fear. Fear is the quietest voice with the loudest impact. It doesn't shout, it whispers, just enough to make you hesitate, second guess, and pull back right before you take the leap. What if you fail? What if they laugh? What if you're not good enough? It's subtle, but over time, those whispers build walls, and before you know it, you're living inside them, wondering why your life feels smaller than it should. But here's what fear doesn't tell you. The thing you're afraid of, it's already happening. Not in reality, but in your mind. You're already imagining the worst case scenario, already feeling the sting of rejection, already carrying the weight of failure, and none of it has even happened yet. You're suffering in advance, and for what? Let's be clear. Fear isn't the enemy. It's a signal, a survival mechanism that's supposed to keep you safe. The problem isn't fear itself, It's letting fear make your decisions. Because when you do that, you're not avoiding pain. You're just trading one kind of pain for another. The pain of regret. The pain of wondering what if. The pain of a life half lived because you were too afraid to live it fully. So how do you move beyond fear? Not by eliminating it, that's impossible, but by changing your relationship to it. First, recognize that fear and excitement feel almost identical in the body. The racing heart, the quickened breath, the nervous energy. The only difference is the story you tell yourself about it. One says danger, the other says possibility. The next time you feel fear, try this. Instead of resisting it, lean in. Ask what if this isn't fear, but fuel. Second, stop conflating fear with intuition. Intuition speaks in calm certainty. Fear screams what if on loop. Learn to tell the difference. If the only thing holding you back is the possibility of discomfort, that's not wisdom, that's just fear in disguise. Third, and this is the hardest, make friends with failure. Not because failure is fun, but because it's inevitable. Every person you admire has failed repeatedly. The difference isn't that they avoided failure, it's that they didn't let it stop them. They understood what most people don't. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of it. Here's the truth, fear doesn't want you to know you are not your outcomes. A rejection isn't proof you're unworthy. A mistake isn't proof you're incapable. They're just data points, feedback, not fate. The moment you separate your worth from your results, fear loses its power. Because now even if the worst happens, you're still okay. So today, do this. Name your fear. Write it down, not vaguely, exactly what you're afraid of. Ask what's the cost of letting this fear decide. What opportunities, joys or growth are you missing? Take one small step anyway. Fear doesn't vanish with bravery. It fades with action. The most liberating realization. You don't have to not be afraid to move forward. You just have to be willing to feel the fear and do it anyway. Because on the other side of fear isn't certainty. It's freedom. The freedom of knowing that no outcome can break you unless you let it. And that's worth every whisper fear tries to throw your way. Letting go isn't losing, it's making space for what truly matters. Peace, presence, the unshakable you beneath all the noise. Start small, breathe, and remember, the lighter you hold things, the farther you'll fly.